Hello everybody, this is Steph with Stampin' and Scrappin' with Steph, and tonight we're going to be demonstrating and learning how to put together the new December 2020 paper pumpkin called Beary Comforting. So I'm just going to get started in about a minute or so. Just want to make sure everything is connected and I can see people joining. So be sure to leave some comments so that I know you're there. All right. Hello, everyone. We're going to get started. Oh my God. I have like this halo of light behind my head. Um, anyway, so tonight we're going to do a quick demonstration on how to put together the brand new paper pumpkin. And this one, let's see, where's the side here? I don't know if you can see. It says Beary Comforting. And it's a really fun, actually putting it together is super easy. I think there's a little bit of confusion with the die cut shapes, and I'll explain that to you in a minute. And real quick, just before we get started, if you are a regular customer of mine, you should start receiving the new catalogs that will begin in January. So we have, oh goodness, that's a horrible glare. Hold on, let me switch screens. Okay, there we go. So you'll receive, and I believe they're coming separately, but you'll get the Celebration catalog and then the mini January occasions catalog. Now I can't flip through and show you the insides of the catalog yet. I have to wait until I think it's January 4th before I can share anything. But if you're not familiar with the Celebrations catalog, they kind of go hand in hand. Between January and February, for every $50 of product that you purchase through Stampin' Up, you receive a free item within this catalog. So you can place a $50 order from the mini catalog, you can place a $50 order from the annual catalog, you can combine the products. It doesn't have to be one or the other. And then you get to choose something that's in this catalog. Now, I've demonstrated, I think it was last Monday's Card to Go kit, and I used this Fields and Flowers paper. It's really, really pretty in person. They also have, over the last few years, have added where if you spend $100, there's a couple different options that you can choose. You can do two items, which is considered level 1, or you can do one level 2 item, which I think it's, if you can see it here, this Berry Blessings includes this paper. So if you chose this with a $100 order, you would get not only the stamp set, but you would get the 12 by 12 paper free. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. And if you don't end up receiving one by next week, shoot me a message so I can contact Stampin' Up! And make sure that your information is correct and so forth. And if it doesn't come in the mail, you know, I can make sure to get you one. Okay, so this is the Beary Comforting Paper Pumpkin. It makes 12 cards, so 4 of each of these 3 designs. And then I'm going to show you how to make this really cute little treat box that I did for Valentine's Day, and also an alternative style card using just product from this kit. The box is something else, but really easy to put together. So even if you don't have a lot of supplies on hand, it's so super simple to create quick and easy projects. Not everybody is always a fan of the kits that come in. Sometimes it's products or projects that, you know, you may not have a use for, but sometimes you tweak it a little bit, you can figure out something. And again, my Paper Pumpkin fan I think it's my Paper Pumpkin fan page. It's or fan group. It's a group on Facebook. Paper Pumpkin Fan Club. It's something like that. I'll post it. I'm sorry. I know what it is, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. Paper Pumpkin. Oh, anyway. It's a great group. It's a combination of demonstrators and customers, or Stampin' Up! Users from all over that post projects that they have made using the Paper Pumpkin kits and changing it up from the instruction that they give you. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so here's how the box comes. This is just a regular, they call it the orange Paper Pumpkin box. And I've already kind of took some pieces apart, so keep that in mind when you're looking at it. So typically it comes wrapped in, this would be wrapped all nice and neat with this cute little tissue paper. And if I can get it out without tearing it, I always keep the tissue paper to use with another project. Okay, so then we got this big sheet, and I know, again, I apologize, there's always a glare, but of dimensionals, and it's bigger than the regular size dimensionals that you could get in a pack. So that's, you know, a used thing of dimensionals, and here's the one that you get in the kit. And then we have these little shapes here. You have a rich razzleberry Stampin' Spot. Then we have these super cute little die cuts with the bear, a raccoon, and then these koalas that are sitting. You know what? I might shut my back light off and see if that helps. Let's see. Does that take the glare away? A little bit. Not too much, but so the bear is connected here, and they kind of sit together, if you can see that. Then we have this sheet right here, which unfortunately I've already punched out some of the shapes, so you can't see them all, but there's a little heart that would go right here. Oh my goodness. So you get 3 of each one of these on this sheet. Now, this is where the confusion is, because there's 3 card designs, and you make 4 of each, but there's only 3 of each of the little die cuts here. And as I was going through the directions and figuring out how to put it together, if you really look at the picture, they mix up the shapes. So it's almost like you pick a different one for every card that you make. Not necessarily does the bear always hold a gift, or the raccoon is only holding the cupcake. It's meant to kind of be mixed up when you put it together. And then this is the stamp set, and I'm sorry, I do have some on blocks, but you get the big bear, this little leaf thing, the flowers, and it's a get well, you are on my mind, and hooray. Then we have some other die cut shapes here. I've already pulled that one out. Some striped squares. And this is an advertisement about the Artistry Blooms sweet collection. It's such a pretty sweet. I honestly did not purchase this one, and the more I've seen it, the more I wish I did, but I decided to hold off just because I knew the January catalogs were coming out, and I really wanted to kind of save up to get stuff. So these are the envelopes, and they come pre-printed with the design on the inside. And I want to say this color to me is a seafoam green. I haven't read the back of the directions, but to me that's the color I see. So then you have, and of course, remember I put together some cards already. So you would get 4 of each of these designs, and I've already put 1 of each, and then my alternative card used this one. All right. So now that have shown you all that, let's grab what we need to do the cards. Let's move the box. And, oh, and so just a tip. I was thinking to make projects using this die. How am I going to do that if, you know, once I punch them out, they're all gone? So if you have an electric or electronic digital die cut machine, like I don't know if it's the Silhouette, but I know the Brother Scan and Cut. I can scan this in as an SVG file, save it, and then I can cut it out later on, if that makes sense. So I can scan this in. Actually, let me take that back. I made a copy of it first. And then I can scan this into my scan and cut and then cut it out if I wanted to. I could do this on cut it out in like the Stampin' Up! Cardstock, but this is just regular 3-hole punch coffee paper. But if I scan it as an SVG file, for those of you that have the ones that can actually print and then cut it out, you get so much more for your money. But if you don't have that type of technology, no big deal. They give you plenty to complete the projects. And again, if you're not interested in doing the projects completely as pictured, you do have enough on hand of things to like mix and match it up. Okay. So these are the cards right here, assembled, I believe the way the kit kind of directed, the best that I could figure it out. All right, so I'm going to set these two aside. I'm going to start with the bear, and he says, "You are on my mind." And again, use any greeting that works for you. If you don't like the greetings that come in the stamp set, don't worry about it. Use it for something else. Save the stamp set for a different project. Now remember, the stamp sets are exclusive to the Paper Pumpkin kit, so you won't find these in our catalogs anywhere else. So I need a little circle. For this one, he's doing the flower. I think I'm going to do the cupcake for him. Because again, they're meant to be mixed up a little bit. Here's my envelope, which I don't need for this particular moment, but I'm going to put it out. And I need a rich raspberry rectangle. And then for this one, it used the striped background. So I'm going to fold, increase that. All right, and then I'm going to show you the directions. So here are the directions. And on the inside, you'll see it shows you here, step 1. Lay out the pieces for each card before beginning to assemble. So you would pop all of these out if your intentions are to put the project together as is. Then you're going to stamp your sentiments onto the die cut shapes. The third step here is your assembly. So you're adding the die cut pieces to the elements, and then you're assembling it. Now this particular kit doesn't have any ribbon or twine or anything like that, but you still always get a little ruler in here. So if you wanted to embellish a little bit more, you could measure out ribbon or strips of paper or something else if you wanted to change it up a bit. Okay, so I don't know if you can tell here. You can see, it's actually this one. See, in this one, the koala bears are holding a heart. This one, they got the gift. He's got a package. Then he's got the heart. Same thing, like the raccoon has the gift. And then there's the cupcake. So it's meant to be mixed around. All right, so the first step is getting your die cuts. Now we're going to stamp. And because I'm doing a cupcake, I don't think I want to say "you're on my mind." So I think I'm going to stamp the hooray. And I'm going to use the razzleberry. I'm going to use my ink. I'm just going to use my ink pad only because I like to save my spots. And then you just stamp straight down. And that's the only stamping for that one. Now if I was putting these all together, I would probably stamp everything at once and then move on to the next one. And then on the die cuts, they're pre-cut to pop up a little bit here on the bear and then on the koala. So you would stick the cupcake underneath that, just like that. You could add a dimensional or a little bit of adhesive to hold that in place. And that's all I'm going to do is just add a little bit of adhesive, just so it doesn't move out of its way. And I'm going to tip it a little bit at an angle. I'm going to add a couple dimensionals on the back of my pieces and the back of the rectangle, just like that. This is one of those kits where if you had to go somewhere for an appointment and you were going to be sitting there for a little bit, it's super easy. Not a lot of things that you, maybe a pair of scissors. I don't even think I use scissors. And to pop that up. Now I'm going to add my bear in the middle. And the greeting to the lower right. Envelope's already decorated for you, so I mean you could stamp something on the outside if you wanted to, but it has a little bit of a liner, so I'm just going to keep it as is. And there's the first card. Alright, so the second card here is this one that says get well soon. And for this one, I need the little koalas. And actually, I'm just going to put the raccoon there. I think I'm going to keep this one get well. So I'm going to add flowers. Let me see. I don't know what I want to do. I think I might do the gift. I think I want to do the gift. I'm going to put that aside. Decisions, right? Sorry about that. I'm looking for my pile. All right, so we need the circle and this background. Oops. So I'm going to add dimensionals to the back of my circle here, because I don't have to do anything to this, so just kind of do it, get it out of the way. And it has these gold lines going through it, so I just want to make sure it's tipped a little bit. And then if you see here on the koalas, if you pop up their hands like that, they hold whatever you slide in between them. Isn't that cute? So now I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back of the koalas. I'm going to stick them right about there. I don't want to do another hooray, So I think I'm going to grab a birthday sentiment from Itty Bitty Birthdays, and I think I'm just going to do this happy birthday one. And stamp it down. And then again, add dimensionals. And you know, this will go faster when you're making them because you're not talking and explaining it to someone like I am. So where it may look a little more time consuming, they really aren't. And I just got ink all over this because somehow there's ink on my fingers. How lovely, right? Never fails. Okay. Oh, there's ink on my block. That's why. And so that one says happy birthday. And I'm just going to look to grab a couple wipes. Sorry. Oh, goodness. All right, and then that's the second card. How easy is that? Don't be like me and get a bunch of ink all over your hands. So. All right, I don't know if anyone's out there. It's hard to tell. The last and final card is this one right here. And this one I'm also going to do a happy birthday, and I'm going to use the cupcake this time. So I'm going to do happy birthday instead of the hooray. Actually, I'm going to do the hooray just because I want you to see how much you can change things around and have a great look. So let's stamp the greeting really quick since I seem to keep getting ink all over myself. So for this card, your envelope, a square. This one used the raspberry background. We already have the raccoon, and then we have that. Cupcake. Okay, so again, we're going to start. I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of my square. I've already stamped my greeting. Hey, Teresa. Yeah, it's wicked cute. It's always one of those ones where sometimes I don't know if I would use it. And then when you get it and put it together, it's actually really cute. So I am going to add dimensionals to the back. Hi, Deb. No worries. Glad you could make it. So I'm going to put my little raccoon right here. I'm going to add dimensionals to the back of my cupcake. And stick it right there. I'm going to add some dimensionals to the greeting that says hooray. Now, I talked in the beginning of the Facebook Live a little bit before I got started, so you can see how quickly this does come together. I mean, I've been on for 20 minutes, but I've been talking. But when I made these, I will say I made them earlier today. Probably, I think I started this project at 5. So this is the third card. So this was the original one. This is the one I just did. And then there's this one. And then I just did this one. And then we had the original of that one. And then I did that one. And so now we're going to put together the 2 alternative projects that I made. And hopefully I don't get ink all over those. But it is what it is. So just like that, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards. And so what should we do first? The box or the card? I'll wait for you guys to answer me and then we'll put it together. You tell me which one. And I'm going to clean my stamps here so I don't get it all over me anymore. Nobody? The box? Okay. You got it. We'll do the box. Alright, I'm just going to put this stuff away so that I can do the box. Alright. So here we go. The box. So this box, I actually changed up a little bit. It is a brand new product coming out in our mini catalog. It's called the Love You Always Treat Box. It is considered a food safe box, and you get 10, and it comes in 2 pieces. So you have this piece and this piece. But I decided that I wanted to make the cover different, okay? So I'm going to show you how to put the box together, and then I'll explain to you what I did to do that cover. So you have this piece right here, and again, I apologize. I know I have a glare, but no matter what I do, my lighting is behind me, so it's just, it is what it is. But it's in a score line. It has 2 score lines for each of the sides. If you can see, there's a score line there, the score line there. And all I did was pinch it like this. And that creates the top. See? Okay. Now, when you do the box, there's no top to this because it slides inside here. So when you're putting it together, you might think that somehow you need to create a top. You don't. What you're going to do is just fold in all these score lines. Think of it like a matchbox. Like, you know, if you want to light a candle and you slide the top off your matchbox, that's kind of what we're making, but they don't call it a matchbox. So I'm just going to fold all my score lines. Okay. Now, one side of the box has a smooth surface to it. One side of the box has a rougher surface to it. So you can just decide which ones you want to be the inside, which part because you just fold it in the opposite direction. You can also stamp on these, sponge ink on these, whatever you want to do. Do all of that before you actually put the box together. It's easier to stamp. So we're going to start with, I'm going to bring my sides up. Okay, go over here. I don't want you yet. Okay, so these tabs go in. Okay, see this piece right here? And then this comes up and then folds down. Same thing, I'm sorry. Tucks down. Take this one, fold it down, and I don't know if how well you can see. I think I'm getting pink all over it from the ink being on my fingers, even though I've cleaned them. And then you're going to fold this down. See? Fold this down. And then there's this little tab piece right here. You're going to pop it in. And then that's the box. And then this would slide inside here like that. But I decided I wanted to make something a little bit more decorative, a little bit funner. So when you see this box, this is the cover. This is the sleeve. I didn't use this part. So now I'm going to show you how to make this. Okay, so let's move our boxes. Slide this back in there. Okay, so you are going to need a piece of cardstock that measures 4 1/8 by 9. Okay. You can use your scoreboard, but I'm just going to use my trimmer. So I've already got it cut 4 1/8 by 9, and I'm going to first score it at 1.5, and then I'm going to score it at 4 1/4, 5 3/4, and then at 8.5. I will figure out how to make the base at some point, to obviously use those tops on another project. So here you have, okay, so score it at 1.5, and then 4 1/4, 5 3/4, and obviously I'm moving my paper to the left, and then 8.5. So you'll have this piece right here that's 1/2 inch. And for that, I want to trim the edges to have a slight like miter to it, like that. It just makes assembling just a little bit easier. Now, because this project is going around a box, I could use my snail, but I don't want to, or seal, or regular tape runner. Tear and tape is fine, but I think the liquid glue is a better adhesive for something like this. I think it will keep it together better over time. So I'm going to add my adhesive. And the nice thing about this too is if you made this project in advance and didn't want to really assemble it until you were going to use the box, this can stay flat. All right, so now I've kind of created that square there. And then when you pop this up, you have that lid. Isn't that cute? So I'm going to set this aside for a minute and let that dry. And I'm going to work on the other parts of the box here. So in this Paper Pumpkin kit, we have a little teddy bear stamp image. And that's him right here. So you have him as a die cut, and you could certainly pop him out. But I'm going to use him in the card afterwards. So if you weren't assembling the cards at all and just making boxes, then use your little furry friends here to decorate your box. But I'm going to stamp. So I'm going to take some Memento ink, him up, stamp him on a piece of white. Now, if you follow my posts on my Stampin' and Scrappin' with Stuff page, you may have noticed that I posted about our Whisper white paper disappearing, like retiring. And it's unfortunate because right now it's all while supplies last. And what happened is the plant, the paper plant or mill that manufactured our Whisper white paper is shutting down, unfortunately, due to kind of, I guess, the results of the pandemic. So Stampin' Up! Right now has all of our Whisper white paper and envelopes at a while supplies last. And it's a limited quantity of 2 per order. At some point, it will no longer be available. And they will be selling a basic white cardstock. I have faith that the basic white cardstock will be great quality. I like, the Whisper white, and I can't say what the basic white is going to be like, but like I said, fingers crossed, everything will be fine. I don't think Stampin' Up! Will give us something that they're not happy with, and if it ends up not being a great product, then they'll probably pull it. So, if you do need some white, make sure you get on there and sell it, buy it. Don't wait, because once it's gone, we'll be waiting for the new stuff to come out, and hopefully it's sooner than later because everybody uses the white, on projects. Okay, so we've stamped our bear, and I'm going to color him in using my Stampin' Blends. I've decided to use the light and dark soft suede. Now, some people like to do the light first and then add the dark for the shading, but I prefer to do my dark and then the light. So I'm just going to go around some areas where I think there'd be some natural shadows. And you can do it any way, you're comfortable with. And then what you would do is come around with your light one in a circular motion and just blend it out. If you don't have Stampin' Blends, you can use the Stampin' Write markers. There's nothing wrong with those. Oops, I didn't want to do that one right there, but that's fine. All right, so I'm just going to quickly color. And then I used crumb cake for his face. And this is my light crumb cake that I think is just about dried out, but I can get a teeny tiny bit of him left. And it was one of those things where I don't think I put the cap on tight enough. Let's try this. Yeah, see, he dried out on me. Oops. All right, let's try the dark shade. And it doesn't help that my pellet stove in the basement is always going 24/7 in the winter. All right, so if you were just going to continue with coloring and shading, I then took the Blushing Bride, added some pinky tones to his cheeks, inside the ears. Then I'm going to fussy cut him out because there is no dye to go with this. And after you color and cut him out, he will look like that. Super cute, right? Let's move that aside. Now, in the die cut one, I showed you that his arm is already set to pop up. So in order to recreate that, I took an X-Acto knife. Is it an X-Acto knife or something like that? What is this called? An X-Acto knife? And then I just cut along the arm. And what I'll do is I'm going to move this. Oh. Don't tell me to clean my mat. I did. It's paint. It does not come off. But I just slowly cut on the arm here, right from the top. You don't have to do this. It just kind of, I don't know, adds, I think, to it. So again, and you don't want to go all the way to the end on this side. And then right here. And then I'll check it, make sure. And be careful, because these things can be, they may not look like they're sharp when you're cutting stuff, and then you catch yourself and it's like really deep very quickly. All right, and then he's cut out like that. Lots of ink on me today. All right. And then what I ended up doing, let me put this back. It's my size. Okay. I ended up cutting a heart out with my gold foil, and then another heart using my real red glimmer paper. And then when I put it together, I thought the gold foil, although it's really pretty in person, kind of blends with him. So I decided to do the opposite for this one. I ended up cutting the bigger heart using the glimmer paper in the real red, and then the gold foil heart here. Just like that. And I thought that was really kind of cute. So what we're going to do is I'm going to add dimensionals. To the heart. And put that in the middle of this one. And then I'm going to add a dimensional to the back of the heart and tuck it under the little bear at an angle. So yeah, so I think it kind of shows up better like that. You can make the lid in any color you want. I just chose Rich Raspberry because that's the color that's featured in the Paper Pumpkin. What do you think? Is he cute? All right. And then when I stamped the greeting, I chose Be My Valentine. And that is from a new stamp set in the January Occasions catalog called Always in My Heart. So you can see I didn't stamp crooked. It's the shape of the image. And then I'm also using this heart right here from the set Meant to Be, which is a current stamp set, to stamp a background on the box. Again, if you don't have those stamp sets, or well, the Meant to Be one, use whatever you have. You know, make it your own. And now I can't find my paper. Oh, Steph, why do I go through this every time I stamp live? Can someone explain to me? Oh my goodness. There they are. Here's my greeting. Right there. And so for this one, again, Be My Valentine. So if you wanted to do this in a red color, I mean, that would be really cute with the red glitter heart. And you can see it stamps it at an angle. And there's that. So now I'm going to move these aside to do the lid of my box. So I'm not sure if it shows up too much, but here's my seam from gluing the box together. So I want that to be my bottom. And I'm going to make it flat. And then what I did was just randomly stamp the heart all over, wherever you want, and then go over here. And I think that's good because most of it's going to get kind of covered anyway. And then I had this gold glitter ribbon that was a 2-pack that I wrapped around the box. Do you prefer the gold ribbon or do you want me to do the razzleberry and then tie this one in a bow? This one I don't like tying in a bow. I don't like how it looked. So I'm going to put that on. So I can wrap or I can do a bow. What do you like? I think I'm going to stick with this one. All right, gold it is. I have a child standing in my doorway staring at me, and she thinks that I'm going to respond as to what she wants, but I'm just going to continue to ignore her. Then go away. Or I'm going to send Teresa over here to slap you. So I just wrapped it around, and now I'm just using a couple glue dots to hold it in place. Like that. Thank you. Good choice. Now I'm going to add a couple dimensionals to the back of the bear. To the back of my greeting. You can fill this with some candy, some cookies. It's a good size box. It'll fit a lot. I'm on my way. And I just kind of set it to the side. Oh, I chose the long greeting. Oh well. There we go. I could always trim that and redo it. See, I got distracted. Anyway, so here are the 2 boxes. Aren't they cute? I really wish my lighting was better because I think they look better in person than the camera. But cute. I was so proud of myself. And yes, I came up with that. Like I said, I started putting this stuff together around 5 o'clock. I don't know why in my mind I thought it was all done, and I'm glad that the cards were easy to put together. So now we're going to do the alternative card, which is this one right here. And this one actually, if you follow Paper Pumpkin on Facebook, it's actually posted on that page, or it might be considered a group. But it is also printed on the back of the insert that comes with the kit. And I've been actually really referencing this a lot, that they do show some alternatives. So it's this one right here. And like I said, on the Paper Pumpkin Facebook page, it's Paper Pumpkin by Stampin' Up. Excuse me. They actually explain how to make those 3 cards, which is great, because sometimes you're trying to figure them out and they don't give you details or anything. So we need a circle. Because I used this one, I'm actually going to use this one this time, just so I'm using the products evenly. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to cut my circle into 3 pieces. Isn't this cute, this little mini trimmer? This was actually something that was included if you became a demonstrator a while back. And then we were able to buy it as demonstrators. But it's so cute. It's so handy. And to pull out a full trimmer. So I just cut that into 3 pieces. 1, 2, 3. All right. And then for the other card, this original one, I cut this koala off of this side. And now I'm going to use the koala on this side. So my card is going to be a little bit opposite, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to trim where that little die cut piece was. So he still has his little hand sitting there. And then I'm just going to get rid of this little weird part that kind of pops up. And I'm going to add my adhesive to the back of my circles. And then I'm going to place them onto the card. Just like this. So I'm leaving a space in between as I put these together. And then I need my little bear and the raccoon. Now because I'm doing this opposite, I can't have the koala reaching over to the bear. I need the koala to hold